Class 10th, subject science, important questions of 4 marks for board exam. Let us see the questions. Give an example of metal which is liquid at room temperature. Answer is mercury. Can be easily cut with a knife. Answer is sodium. Is the best conductor of heat silver and copper. Is a bad conductor of heat lead and mercury. Now the question differentiate between metals and non-metals on the basis of chemical properties. These are the metals and non-metals and we differentiate between them on the basis of chemical properties only. Metals form basic oxides, non-metals form acidic or neutral oxides. Metal replace hydrogen from acids and form salts. Non-metals do not replace hydrogen from acids. With hydrogen, few metals form hydrides, which are electrovalent. With hydrogen, non-metals form many stable hydrides, which are covalent. Metals are electropositive in character. Non-metals are electronegative in character. Next question. Draw a labeled structure of nephron. This is a structure of nephron. You have to draw afferent arteriole, glomerulus, Bowman's capsule, descending limb of loop of Henle, ascending limb of loop of Henle, vasa recta, efferent arterial, proximal convoluted tubule, and these are the collecting ducts. And you have to practice it in the notebook. Now the question explain the difference between an artery and a vein. There are many differences, but for 4 marks you can write 4 differences. Now see the differences. The blood vessels that arise from the heart and carry blood away from the heart are called arteries. The blood vessels that bring blood to the heart are called veins. Arteries are thick walled blood vessels situated in deep layers of the body. Veins are thin walled blood vessels situated superficially in the body. Arteries do not have valves. Veins have valves. Tunica externa or irventa, the outermost layer of the arteries, is thick and elastic. Tunica externa, the outermost layer of the veins, is thin. Next is tunica media is very thick and contain elastic fibers. Tunica media is thin and contain involuntary muscles fibers. The lumen of arteries is small. The lumen of the veins is very spacious. With the exception of pulmonary arteries, all other arteries carry oxygenated blood. With the exception of pulmonary veins, all veins carry deoxygenated blood. Blood in the arteries show high blood pressure. Blood in the veins shows lesser blood pressure. These are the differences, but you can write 4 differences in 4 marks. Now the next question, draw a leveled diagram of the alimentary canal of human being. And this is the diagram, you have to practice it. Tongue, mouth, buccal cavity, esophagus, and this is esophagus, this is stomach, small intestine, large intestine, anus, appendix, pancreas, liver, bile duct, gallbladder, diaphragm. And you have to practice in practice it in your copy. The next question, draw a leveled diagram of the human heart. And this is the diagram of human heart. Draw it in your copy. It is important for this board exam. These are the spatium and this is right ventricle, inlet valve, main veins, right atrium, outlet valve, pulmonary artery, pulmonary vein, left atrium, inlet valve, left ventricle, muscular valve. These are the important nomenclature of the heart. Now next question, draw a leveled diagram of the excretory system of the human. This is the diagram and you have to draw in your copy and practice it. It is pelvis, then it is right kidney, renal vein, ureter, urinary bladder, urethra, renal artery, left kidney, adrenal gland. Now the question, write one function of each of the following hormones: thyroxine, insulin, adrenaline, growth hormone, testosterone. And now thyroxine regulates metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, release of hydrogen, and body activity. Insulin regulates blood glucose by its absorption in liver for formation of glycogen and individual cells for metabolic activity. Adrenaline for meeting an emergency by increasing heart rate and supply blood to various organs. Growth hormone or somatotropic hormone regulates growth and development of body through anabolic activity for growth of bones, muscles, and visceral organs. Testosterone, male sex hormone, controls changes in body associated with puberty in males, beard, mustache, low pitch voice, increased growth and bones and the muscles. Now, this is the important question. Write the difference between the self pollination and cross pollination. Let us see the self pollination and cross pollination. Self pollination, cross pollination. In self pollination, the pollen grains from the anther of a flower are carried over to the stigma of the same flower or other flower of the same plant. In cross pollination, the pollen grains from the anther of the flower are carried over to the stigma of another flower of other plant of the same species. Self pollination does not depend upon the external agents like wind, water, and insects. Cross pollination does depend upon external agents like wind, water, insects. Next difference is self-pollination is more economical as there is no wastage of pollen grains during the pollination. Cross-pollination is not economical as a large number of pollen grains are wasted during their transference from one flower to another flower. Self-pollination does not induce variability in the offsprings. Cross-pollination induces a high degree of variability, resulting in new variety of plants. The next question, write the names and functions of four plant hormones. Types and functions of plant hormones. Plant hormones are mainly of the following four types. Number one is auxin, increases in the length of cells, help in cell division, control the movements of plants, prevent leaves from falling, help in production of seedless fruits. Next hormone is gibberellin, helps in quick germination of seeds, increases the length of dwarf plants, help in widening the leaves of plants. Next hormone is cytokinin, helps in protein synthesis, increase the length of cells and stem, helps in growth of lateral buds, prevents growth of roots and leaves and produces catalysts at the time of germination. Next is abscisic acid ABA, growth inhibitor, controls the opening and the closing of leaves and flowers, encourages the process of defoliation and reduces the growth rate of plants. Now the next question is, explain the dispersion of sunlight by a prism with a diagram. When a ray of white light passes through a prism, it splits into a spectrum of seven colors, whose sequence is from base of prism to top is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. You also known as it is Vibgyor. And this is the diagram of the dispersion of sunlight. It is a cardboard and it has a slit. This is a beam of sunlight, that is white light. When it passes from prism, it splits in seven colors. From base of the prism, it is violet to red. Next question is, draw a labeled diagram of the human eye. This is the structure of human eye and you have to practice in your copy. This is iris, cornea, pupil, lens, vitreous, sclera, optic nerve, blood vessels, and retina. Now, next question, what is the importance of forest as a resource? Usefulness of forest conservation in human life. They keep the environment balanced and pollution free. They provide habitat to animals and birds. They encourage rainfall. Various types of food items are obtained from the forests. Fruits, nuts, etc. are obtained from the forests. Various types of medicines are obtained from the forest. Useful timber is obtained from the forests. Forests serve as pasture of animals. Thus, conservation of forest is beneficial for human life. Now the question, which of the following is a physical change and which is chemical change? Evaporation of petrol, it is physical change. Combustion of LPG, it is chemical change. Heating an iron rod with blood with it is physical change. Curdling of milk, it is chemical change. Sublimation of solid ammonium chloride, it is physical change. Now the next question, write the properties of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds have high melting points. Ionic compounds are hard and brittle. Ionic compounds dissociate into ions when dissolved in water. Solutions of ionic compounds and melted ionic compounds conduct electricity, but solid materials do not. An ionic compound soluble in water, they have high melting and boiling point. Now next question, draw the electron dot structure of sodium, oxygen and magnesium. Sodium, it is its configuration is 2 at 1. It means it has 3 cells. First cell has 2 electrons, that is 2 dot. Second cell had 8 electrons, so 8 dots. And last cell has 1 electron, so it is 1 dot. Oxygen, its atomic number is 8 and the configuration is 2 6. It means it has 2 cells. First cell has 2 electrons and that is 2 dot, and valence cell has 6 electrons and it has 6 dots. Magnesium, its electronic configuration is 2 at 2. It has 3 cells. In first cell, 2 dots, 2 electrons. In second cell, 8 dots, 8 electrons. And in last cell, 2 dots and 2 electrons. Next question, explain the following reactions with example, that is hydrogenation, oxidation, saponification, combustion reaction. Let us see with example. First of all, hydrogenation reaction. Unsaturated hydrocarbons combines with hydrogen in presence of nickel catalyst to give saturated hydrocarbons. This reaction is called hydrogenation reaction, and this is unsaturated hydrocarbon and it reacts with hydrogen in presence of nickel and it forms saturated hydrocarbons. Now next is oxidation reaction. Ethanol, when heated in the presence of alkaline KMnO4, reacts with oxygen and get oxidized to ethanoic acid. This reaction is called oxidation. CH3CH2OH in presence of KMnO4, it forms CH3COH. That is, extra addition of oxygen takes place and this reaction is known as oxidation reaction. You can give another example for this. Next is saponification reaction. Esters react with sodium hydroxide to form organic salts of sodium. This reaction is called saponification. This is ester and this is sodium hydroxide and it forms organic salts. This is known as saponification and it is a form of a soap. Next 5 number is combustion reaction. Most organic compounds produce light and heat when burnt in oxygen. This reaction is called combustion reaction. That is, methane burns in presence of oxygen to form CO2, H2O, heat and light. This is known as combustion reaction. Next question, explain the mechanism of the cleaning process of soap. Cleaning process of soap. Soap molecules is made up of two parts. First long hydrocarbon part R and second short acidic part containing Na plus, that is CO minus and Na plus. In this R is hydrophobic and one ionic acidic in this hydrophilic. This is the structure. Soap molecule, long hydrocarbon chain, water repelling end. This is hydrophobic. And another part is short ionic part, water attracting end, and it is known as hydrophilic. When dirty cloths are mixed with soap and water, the ionic part of the soap molecule dissolves in water due to being hydrophilic, while the other part of the soap molecule gets attached to the oil or grease part due to being hydrophobic. When dirty cloths are washed in soap solution, the dirt particles attached to the soap molecules dissolves in water and come out. In this way, the cloths become clean. The next question, how will you differentiate between ethanol and ethanoic acid on the basis of physical and chemical properties? This is the difference. First of all, physical properties. Ethanol, ethanoic acid, it has a specific smell, it has vinegar-like smell, it has burning taste, it is sour in taste, it does not freeze in the winters, it freezes in the winters. Now, see the chemical properties of ethanol and ethanoic acid. It does not react with sodium bicarbonate, that is NaHCO3. It gives CO2 with NaHCO3. It burns with blue flame. It does not burn with blue flame. It does not affect blue litmus. It turns blue litmus to red. Next question, explain the method of nutrition in amoeba. Amoeba consumes its food through temporary finger-like structure that emerge on its surface. Food particles stick to these structures. These outgrowth structures surround the food particles and fuse to form food vacuoles. Inside the food vacuoles, complex substances are decomposed into simple substances. These simple substances spread in the cytoplasm. The remaining substance move towards the surface of the cell and it is expelled from the body. And the process by the diagram you can see, this is ingestion and this is digestion, then absorption and then assimilation and then egestion. Next question, draw a labeled diagram of reflex arc. This is sensory neuron, this is receptor, effector, motor neuron, and each it is relay neuron. You have to draw this figure and practice in your copy. The next is draw a labeled diagram of human brain. This is the diagram of human brain and it is spinal cord, midbrain, cranium, cerebrum, forebrain, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, hindbrain, spons, medulla, cerebellum. And you have to practice it on your copy. Now the next question, draw the diagram of double cross according to Mendel. These are round and yellow pea seed. This is round and yellow and we have to second generation. First of all, we take gametes from one characteristics that is R and another characteristics that is Y. Again R with small y, again small r with capital Y and with small r and small y. And same type of gametes are taken here. Now combine them to form a checkerboard. This is capital R, capital Y, this is also capital R, capital Y, so it forms R R Y Y. Similarly, these patterns can be formed. You can practice it and form the checkerboard. Now, capital R round shape is dominance and capital Y yellow color is dominance. So, the phenotype of round and yellow is this is round yellow, this is round yellow, this is round yellow because capital R is smaller, capital Y represents round and yellow. This is round and yellow, round and yellow, round and yellow, round yellow, round and yellow, round and yellow. The numbers are total numbers are 9. Next is round but green because this is capital R so round and this is the small y so it is green. So round and green, it is also round and green, it is also round and green. So round and green, three phenotypes. Next, small r, it is wrinkled but yellow, wrinkled, yellow, wrinkled, yellow. So three wrinkled and yellow. Now last is small r, small y. This is wrinkled and green, 1. So the ratio of phenotype is 9 ratio, 3 ratio, 3 ratio and 1. Next question, find the expression for the total resistance of the combination when the resistors are connected in parallel combination, or three resistors R1, R2 and R3 are connected in parallel. Calculate the total resistance of the combination. Suppose three resistors R1, R2, R3 are connected in parallel as shown in the figure, and their equivalent resistances are. This circuit is given a potential difference of volt V by a battery, due to which a current I ampere is flowing through the circuit. This is the circuit diagram. R1, R2, R3, they are connected in parallel, and a battery is connected with it E. The current flowing in the circuit is I, and the potential difference across the each resistor is V, whereas current flowing in the each resistor is I1, I2 and I3. Since resistors are connected in parallel, the potential difference across each resistors will be V volts. If currents is I1, I2, I3 ampere are flowing in the resistors respectively, then the total current, you write 1, 2, 3 in the subscript. Now total current in the circuit can be written as I equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. We know from Ohm's law V equal to IR, then I equal to VR. Using this formula, we get in the place of I, V upon R, in the place of I1, V upon R1, in the place of I2, V upon R2, in the place of I3, V upon R3. Taking common and cancel them, we get 1 upon R equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. Therefore, the reciprocal of total resistance is equal to the sum of reciprocal of the resistance of those resistors which are connected in parallel. Now the question, write differences between food web and food chain. This is the difference. In food chain, there is a straight line from producer to first consumers to second consumers to third consumers. In food web, each organism eats and it's eaten by two or more organisms, so everything is connected by the web. An organism at higher level of food chain eats specific organism at the lower level. An organism at higher level of food web can eat more than one organism from the lower level. Next is, an organism at higher level of food chain eats a specific organism at lower level. Oh, sorry, it is repeated. Next is, food chain is simplified version of food web. Food web is what happens in reality. A food web contains many food chains. Single food chains is unstable in an ecosystem. Food webs are stable in an ecosystem. Now the question is, so the energy flow in the ecosystem, why is it unidirectional? Justify. Flow of energy in the ecosystem. Since the flow of energy keeps moving forward from one trophic level to another trophic level and does not go back in the opposite direction, it is called unidirectional. Apart from this, the available energy keeps decreasing every trophic level, due to which it becomes impossible for the energy to return. And it can be shown here. The energy of sunlight is used by producer. Producers uses energy Producers gives their energy to herbivores, and herbivores give their energy to carnivores, and carnivores give their energy to top carnivores in 10%, and this is the decreasing sequence of energy. Now the question is, what is trophic level? Give an example of food chain and state the different trophic levels in the it. Trophic level. The different stages of food chain where transfer of food or energy takes place are called trophic levels. Example of food chain and trophic levels are given here. This is the producer, then herbivore, then carnivores, first level carnivores, second level carnivore, and third level carnivore. Example is grass, and then it is eaten by grasshopper. Grasshopper is eaten by frog. Frog is eaten by snake, and snake is eaten by eagle. So these are the important question of 4 marks. You have to practice them. Thank you.